Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. My name is Kimchica, and in today's Indiescovery, we are taking a deeper look into a visual novel that recently came out called Camp W by indie studio Psyop. For those of you who are newer to this channel, welcome again, and this is a chance for me to go into a little bit more detail about the strengths of an indie game, why I liked it, maybe some qualms or questions I had about it, or areas of weakness, and it's a chance for you to decide whether or not you think this is a game that you'd like to purchase and jump into as well. So let's get started. Unlike many of my friends growing up, I never went to overnight summer camp as a kid. It just wasn't something that crossed my radar. I didn't even go on sleepovers till middle school. So when Camp W crossed my path, I felt I owed it to my 6th grade self to try this out and live that summer camp life vicariously. S'mores? Check. No parents? Check. Magic? This is way better than summer camp in real life. In Camp W, you play as a young witch, Liliandra or Lysander, depending on your preference, whose super successful witch mother wants to keep at home to study during the summer break instead of going to witch summer camp. Frustrated at the prospect of spending all summer on spells and potions, you wander off into the forest and discover a portal in the human realm, and it lands you smack right dab in the middle of day 1 of orientation at Camp W. Through a series of events, you end up getting to stay, so spend your summer hiding your witch identity from other campers, make friends, and solve some of the other mysteries that spring up. Camp W is a visual novel, and that means pretty much exactly what it sounds like, that this game will involve lots of reading, but there are some pretty amazing visuals and really calm and pleasant background music to accompany it. Fitting that nostalgic childhood memory type of vibe, Camp W has a Golden Book Saturday morning cartoon feel to it that immediately brought a smile to my face. This game is uplifting, and that feeling continues throughout the whole story. I had a blast reading this out loud with my stream, and I can imagine friends and families reading this game together and picking different activities and friends to focus on. Just because the content is fine for all ages doesn't mean it's childish, though. The themes that this game presents, friendship, setting out on your own, being yourself, these are themes we all can connect to and need reminders about, even as adults. Albeit, it can be a little simple in its presentation. The fairly quick playtime, about 3 to 4 hours per playthrough, also makes it easy to jump in, finish, and revisit Camp W whenever your heart desires. Each day of camp is broken up into about 3 activities you get to choose between. The main story is not affected profoundly by your choices. After each activity, you get a fancy camp badge that you get to proudly display in your grimoire, along with a fun doodle commemorating the event. For those of you unfamiliar with visual novels, there isn't too much gameplay in the button-mashing controller sense. You get the badges as a result of the activity you pick, not from scoring a certain number of points in the game. There is a small additional gameplay mechanic where you can cast spells in your grimoire by tracing the runes with your mouse, but the rest of the game is traditional visual novel fare. That is to say, your focus will be on reading. The highlight of this game is getting to know each of the camp attendees and experiencing their playful and very honest and genuine dialogue. You've got the twins who are into science and engineering, one kid who loves theater and music, another group of guys who love being raucous and playing sports and outdoor games. Again, that Saturday morning cartoon feel ran strong through this game, and each kid and counselor has their own personality quirks that are fun to get to know. And while they can be a little bit one-dimensional, the game is short enough that it isn't something that breaks the experience. There's no voiceover reading the dialogue, but there are sound cues that provide additional context to the visuals to help convey mood and tone. And I found I preferred not having the voiceovers, as it was extremely fun for me to figure out how I imagined each character sounded and attempt to read their lines out loud. While the story is positive and wholesome without being saccharine and overdone, the pacing did feel a little bit uneven and segmented. The intro, or what felt like to me was the intro, almost took as much time as the middle and the end of the main plot. You spend a lot of time getting to know these characters, and then not very much time developing what ends up happening at camp. There were so many questions that the game brought up near the final third, and I never had the opportunity, or the game never presented the opportunity, to flesh out or address those questions. The game also seemed like it was doing 2 different things, because it was. The main story, which had a traditional narrative structure, and then there's the friendship sim component, which is the gameplay, or the most interactive portion of the game. While the friendship simulator component happened in the midst of the main plot, the events still felt quite separated and did not affect one another. I understand why this probably made more sense in the structure of the game, but I did wish there was a bit more interaction between the two, or even alternative endings toward the main story based on who was your friend. If you enjoy visual novels and you're looking for something that's kind and heartwarming without being too cheesy, this is a pleasant experience that will give you a warm, fuzzy feeling on the inside when you're done playing. In fact, even thinking back to my memory of playing the game right now, even with some of the qualms I mentioned earlier about pacing and plot and some of the characters maybe being a bit predictable, I still recall the experience fondly. Yeah, I'm sentimental, but perhaps this is what Camp W is about. It's about making these memories, being kind, and even if this isn't perfect in the most technical sense, this is still an experience you can look back on and feel really good about. As always, I would love to hear what you think in the comments below. Does Camp W look like a game that you're into? Have you already played Camp W and you have some thoughts that you'd like to provide as well? Please leave them because I really value your opinions. You've given me a lot of really great insight to think about when I play indie games, and I really appreciate it. And if you like what I do on this channel, if you like indie games as much as I do, please consider subscribing to this channel. I not only do Indiescoveries, which again are kind of like my words for reviews, or what I call reviews, but I also do Indiewatches, which are lists of games that I think you should really keep an eye out and watch for, as well as occasional Let's Plays, first impression gameplay videos, and the occasional dance stream or the dance freestyle video as well, so be sure to tune in for all of your indie game goodness. And finally, if you enjoy live streams, I stream in 2 places throughout the week. The first being twitch.tv/Kimchica. That's my personal channel where I feature indie games Monday through Thursday at 1 p.m. Pacific time. It's a wonderful place to relax, whether you're at work and you just want to lurk in on a community, or if you really want to be active and chat and hang out and talk to everyone. It's a great place to be. And the other place I stream is on Mondays and Wednesdays, and that is with Utomic. And full disclosure, I do work for Utomic. I love the company very much, and that is Mondays and Wednesdays at 11 a.m. Pacific time. And I also feature indie games via Utomic as well. So you're getting a lot of the same thing, it's just a different place for me. And that is that. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day, that you're finding all the indie games that you're hoping to play, and I will see you in the next video.